Okay, I'm continuing my series on past UFO incidents from Ohio, and we're going to get into a really good one this time. Um, this story is really something. So, all right. So I'm on a site called thislocallife.com/5 UFO cases in Ohio. So I'm going to read this little article here. It has on description on this one. It's from 1949. Um, it's called the um, Norwood, Ohio Searchlight UFO incident. And let's see. All right. Yeah, it's Norwood, Ohio Searchlight UFO incident from 1949. Um, this is one of the most interesting, I think, cases that I've ever heard of from anywhere, I think. So I'll start at the beginning here and we can just see what we think about this. As a way to raise money for a new church parish in Norwood, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cincinnati, Father Gregory Miller decided to host a carnival in August of 1949. The carnival would include a trapeze act, so it was decided that the church would use a searchlight to not only showcase the trapeze artists, but to attract visitors from far and wide. The searchlight was capable of shining a beam of light 6 miles into the sky. Okay. The church sought help from Sergeant Donald Berger of the University of Cincinnati's Reserve Officers Training Corps. He was a qualified searchlight operator who kept meticulous logs while on duty, including during the carnival. Okay. So, according to his accounts, on the first night of the carnival, sometime after 8 p.m., he was operating the searchlight when it came upon a massive object in the sky. Oh boy. Here we go. His log states the object was stationary, okay, appearing as a glowing disc. When I moved the searchlight away, the disc continued to glow. So it was just like still. It's really strange. He estimated the object to be 4 or 5 miles in the air. That's around 25,000 feet high, and reported that the sky was clear with a thin haze at altitude. More than 100 people saw the object that night, including Father Miller. Oh man. All right. Wish I could have seen that. Wish I could have seen this thing. Maybe nothing more would have come from this incident, but the next day, local newspapers carried stories about strange lights being reported all over Cincinnati, not just at the carnival. At least 3 major newspapers in the area ran stories about the sightings. So this was a big deal here. They got 2 pictures on this website here of it, 2 black and white pictures, so you can see it. Um, yeah, just looking at them here. Um, It says here a spotlight operated by Sergeant Donald Berger captures a large circular object in the sky above Norwood near Cincinnati. This is one of the only surviving photographs of the object, which was seen 10 times between 1949 and 1950. The photograph was taken by Sergeant Leo Davidson of the Norwood Police Department and is in the public domain. The photograph on the right shows the same object with the spotlight appearing to bend toward it. Okay, I wonder what that is. I'm gonna zoom in on this first photo here. It's a little smaller, just to look at that circular object. It must be like a perfect circle, kinda. It's really weird. Okay, according to some of these newspapers articles, the local weather bureau and area radio stations and newspapers were flooded with hundreds of calls from residents that reported seeing comets and balls of fire over downtown Cincinnati. Okay. One eyewitness said it looked like two weather sealing balloons, but they weren't moving, adding that the wind was blowing at 25 miles per hour that evening. If they were balloons, they would have moved. The witness stated. Another witness saw two balls of fire that seemed to glow dim and then get bright again. Still another reported a cluster of stars over Cincinnati. Okay. The newspapers explained the incident away by saying that the nearby Albee Theater had also used searchlights that evening to promote a movie premiere, and that people had simply seen the carnival lights and the theater lights interacting in the atmosphere. Yeah, sure. Regardless, 2 days later, the incident at the carnival was brought to the attention of the Department of Military Science and Tactics, the DMST, where it was given a closer look. According to the DMST's documents about the incident, which are available online, the object was reported to have remained stationary for more than 3 hours and appeared to change color in the light beam from a sort of phosphorescent appearance to a bluish color if held in the light. And when the beam was removed, the object remained visible with what has been described as a luminous appearance. Appeared to change color in the light beam from a sort of phosphorescent appearance to a bluish color. And when the beam was removed, the object remained visible. That's what I was wanting to make sure, like, it was still there even when the light was removed. The light beams were removed. So the object remained visible with what has been described as a luminous appearance. So it was there whether the light beam was upon it, around it or not. That's what I was trying to make sure. Like, if it was just the light beam capturing it, then capturing its visibility, then I would be questioning this more. The fact that it was visible when they took the light beam off of it, then That sounds a lot more legitimate. That it wasn't the light beams doing, you know, playing tricks on people's eyes or something. Um, okay. Possibly because the sightings had been reported in local newspapers, thus bringing national attention, the DMST decided to send the report to Project Grudge, later renamed Project Blue Book, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, where UFO sightings were officially investigated. Meanwhile, the sightings in Norwood continued. Okay. The carnival and first incident occurred on August 19th. Intrigued by what he had seen, Sergeant Berger, sometimes accompanied by Father Miller, began to use the searchlight to look for the object again. So the first incident was August 19th. Now we're on September 11th here. On September 11th, he spotted it at 15,000 feet above Norwood. However, when the spotlight focused on the object, it disappeared within a few seconds, traveling straight up. Okay. According to his log, Sergeant Berger then spotted it at a much higher altitude. Oh my God. He states that several thousand people saw the object that night. Several thousand? Okay. Well, and that Wright-Patterson was notified by phone as they were during the first sighting. Okay. Sergeant Berger and other witnesses, including the mayor of Norwood, saw the object again on September 17th. This time in nearby Milford from a different vantage point, and then again in Norwood on October 24th, November 19th, and December 20th? However, the oddest incident occurred on October 23rd. According to his logs, Sergeant Berger, Father Miller, a man named William Winkler, and an editor and reporter from two large newspapers used the searchlight to spot the object several times between 7:15 and 10:45 p.m. Wonder what happened here. On this occasion, which was also reported to Wright-Patterson, it was documented that two distinct groups of triangular-shaped objects, oh no, triangular-shaped objects, seemed to come out of the main disk. Oh, that would be frightening. Okay, let's go on. That's crazy. This is my first time reading this, so that's why I'm so surprised. I didn't expect to hear that. I didn't know that was what happened. Maybe it gets crazier here. Let's see. Each group had about 5 objects. Okay, so 2 distinct groups of triangular-shaped objects seemed to come out of the main disk. Each group had about 5 objects. They came down the beam, then turned out of the beam. The same performance was repeated about a half hour later. One witness stated that the descent of the objects was accompanied by a high-pitched whistle or whine. Another wondered if he was looking at an alien base or mothership. How big was this thing? That's what I want to know. Like, how big was the main disc? It had to have been awfully big. I don't remember it saying in the article, but it must have been pretty big. Sergeant Berger concluded in his log that evening, the disc was still visible when I turned out the light for the night. Oh my God. I don't think I'd be able to, stop watching it if it was me. I'd be scared and fascinated and I would definitely want to keep watching this thing and taking photos of it if I could. Interestingly, 2 members of the Air Force, along with 2 scientists, were present at the December 20th sightings. Then 3 days later, Project Grudge quickly issued its final report on the incidents. The report comes to no conclusion about what was seen by witnesses, but seems to lean on the opinion of one of the scientists present on December 20th. The man's name is classified, but he apparently brought a telescope to view the object. Ooh. Good idea. The conclusion was that what people had seen was an atmospheric phenomenon involving refractions from the searchlight beam. The object, he said, was simply the beam reflecting off of a high layer of thin clouds. I don't know about that. After being filed, the Air Force has never mentioned this incident again or provided a conclusive explanation. Of course not. In fact, the report is one of the few and possibly only investigative reports that has never been declassified from Project Grudge. So there's a lot more to it then. If it has never been declassified. Wait, come on. What are they hiding then? What are they hiding from that report? Still not declassified? Come on. Nah. A lot more to it than what they're saying. Many of the witnesses present at the sightings were frustrated that the Air Force had not conducted a more thorough investigation, including interviewing witnesses, which was standard procedure. They also wanted the Air Force to account for the fact that Sergeant Berger, with collaborating weather reports, often viewed the objects under completely clear conditions, meaning no clouds could reflect the light. So we got to keep that in mind. He said often viewed the objects under completely clear conditions. So let's see. For his part, Sergeant Berger used the searchlight to spot the object on 3 more occasions. So we're going into 1950 here now. Once on January 11th, 1950, and then on the evenings of March 9th and March 10th. That's a long time for that object to stay there, to be there all those nights. It started in August 19th of 49. And now we're already March 10th of 1950. Usually these objects, you don't see them again after a day or so, right? This one's multiple nights for several months. That's a long time. During these sightings, he was in the presence of police officers, fellow reservists, and members of the public. I'm not done with the article yet, but so far, I think this is one of the most legitimate, like UFO like experiences and events I've ever heard of, and I've glad I'm doing a deep dive on this, but I've never read a detailed article about this. I just like briefly knew, sort of knew about this story, but not, I didn't like look into it very well, like I'm doing right now. So this is the first time I'm hearing about all this right now, and um, I think this is one of the best documented cases I've ever heard. This is really interesting. Um, at the March 9th sighting, Sergeant Berger reported that two small objects came out of the disc, and it looked as if the disc was pushed out of the beam. In about in about 10 minutes, the disc moved back into the beam. Okay, so the disc is moving by itself, basically. It's not the beam doing anything, and it's not the beam doing anything like some kind of trickery or something. The disc is moving by itself. So, I mean, Wright-Patterson was notified, but nothing official was done. What could they even do? What would they do? Like, I don't know what they would do, even if they tried to do something with this disc thing. Like, all right, let's see here how. All right, we're almost done. We got a couple more paragraphs here. Let's see what the rest says. William Winkler believed and wrote to the Air Force to get on the record that Project Grudge knew what the object was, but was keeping quiet because it was a top secret military aircraft. I don't know, but I don't believe that at all. That doesn't sound like a man-made aircraft at all. Like, not even close. This is, keep in mind, 1949, 1950? A big, like, glowing flying disc? I I just find that so really hard to believe. However, two people present when the Air Force officials and scientists were investigating the December 20th sightings reported overhearing the men discussing the size of the object. Oh, here we go. I was wanting to know, like, what is the size of this thing? As they measured it through their telescope, both witnesses heard the men discuss the object being, oh God, 10,000 feet across. For comparison, an aircraft carrier is about 1,100 feet long. Oh my God. No technology today, let alone nearly 75 years ago, can make an object that big fly, and especially not stay stationary in the atmosphere. Um, okay. My God. All right, let's continue. I'm just laughing at the 10,000 feet across thing. I don't even know what to say about that. In 1952, Father Miller... No, wait a minute. Okay, let's just go on. Finish the last paragraph here. In 1952, Father Miller appeared on a local television show to discuss the incident. Oh. He made it known that he had 10 still frame photographs of the object, as well as a movie reel. Oh. I wonder if those all exist still. The cameraman for all of them had been Sergeant Leo Davidson of the Norwood Police Department. However, since being shown to several people at the television station that day in 1952, the film has never been seen again. No. Imagine having seeing the film on this thing. The only photographs that remain are the ones seen above. So just those two photographs? Oh, man. Which are photocopies of the original image contained in the Project Grudge file. Photocopies of the original image. Shoot. So the original image might look better than. Father Miller said the others were loaned out to the government agencies. Oh man. And major news organizations for evaluation. But were either never returned or lost. How could you? Oh man. What? Never returned or lost. I hope they're not lost. Whatever hundreds of people saw in the sky above Norwood in 1949 and 1950, and why the Air Force didn't take the incidents more seriously, remains a mystery. Okay, so that's the end of that. It's so just... looking at those pictures again, those are the only pictures. Okay. It looks really bright. Like there's the searchlight there looking on the object. The object is really bright looking. Like you could tell it's not the searchlight. I can tell right away it's not. Searchlight's looking on it. And that thing is glowing bright, whatever color it's supposed to be. Okay. Wow. All right. What do you all think about this one? The Norwood, Ohio, 1949, 1950 incidents. I'm just my mind is like blown away by this, I guess I should say. So, yeah. Let me know what you think about this one. It's not a hoax, but what could this possibly be? Do you think it's otherworldly? Do you think it's the light beams playing tricks on people, which I can't I can't come to believe that. I just can't after going through all of that. That seems like the least likely thing that it is, but Yeah, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be coming back with some more of this series of videos. We'll see which story to do next. And as always, thanks for watching.